Okay, so when we're talking about scaling and what we want to be doing here, I mean, basically it's like this. You started running your campaigns, you found some success, you found some failures, right? Now you want to double down on that success, triple down on that success, and really start growing it from there. And so then the question is, okay, how do you scale? And most people just say, well, I'm just going to throw some more money at it. Like, okay, cool, gotcha. I agree, but there's a proper way of doing it. And so that's what we're going to start going over here. First thing is that there are some rules that I have set that we operate by, and I'll share them with you here. And I'll go over them in depth. But to begin with, when we think about scaling, the biggest thing we have to remember, we have to keep top of mind, is that it's not about ROI, it's about maximizing profit. Okay, so your ROI will most likely change for plus or minus, up or down, as you start scaling, and this is completely normal, right? Like, let's say if you started a campaign, you've been running $50 a day, $100 a day, whatever it is, and it's been going well, and you've been getting a 4x ROI throughout the past month or so, and now you were like, okay, well, instead of spending $3,000, I want to spend 20 grand. Okay, big leap, big change in the algorithm, big change in how much money you're throwing at, how many people you're going to start reaching. So just remember, this is about maximizing overall profits. It is not about ROI. Okay, that might seem scary, but just keep that in mind when you're looking at the numbers as you start to scale. Okay, so a couple rules to never break. Number one, never, ever, ever. This is like the biggest thing. Number one, never adjust the ad set. Okay, that means if you have an ad set, a campaign that's running and it's going very smoothly, whatever you have it set at, you leave it the hell alone. If you want to take that ad set and make changes, you duplicate the ad set. Okay, this is so very important. Duplicate the ad set. Do not adjust the ad set. I'm going to say it again. Never ever adjust your ad set. Always duplicate. So let's say if you have an ad set that's running $20 a day or whatever it is, maybe you want to change the budget. And then you say, hey, you know what? I want to change it from $20 a day to $100 a day. First of all, that's not the proper way to scale, but let's just say that's a for instance. Then what you would do is you would duplicate that ad set and then change the budget with the duplicate. Okay? Because the one you're running right now is winning. So don't screw that. Don't screw it up. Okay? Also, let's say if you have targeting changes you want to have made, like maybe your targeting is good, but you want to just spice up it a little bit more, add a little bit more filters to it or whatever it is, same thing. Duplicate the ad set. Do not change it. Don't change anything. As soon as you make one change, the algorithm resets. Okay? So what we're doing is we're saying we have this winning campaign. We have this winning ad set. And we want to do more with it, or we want to test different things with it as well. Then we duplicate. And yes, when we duplicate, it will reset the algorithm. But as long as we still have the winning one running and it's still winning, you reset it, you start a new one. If that one fails, you can turn that one off and you still have your winning ad set. Hope that makes sense. Okay. For very similar reasons, number 2 here, never change your ad, create a copy. Okay. So create a copy, do whatever changes you need, whether it's creative, headlines, copy within the ad, whatever it is, just basically the same thing. Duplicate the ad itself. All right, don't change the ad. Number 3, when you are targeting audiences and you're creating audiences, whether they're saved, custom, lookalike, doesn't matter. Always check your audience overlap and never run targeted ads with audiences that overlap by 20% or more. Okay, was that old saying, I don't mind competing with others, but I don't want to compete against myself. As soon as you start targeting audiences with overlap 20 plus, you're basically competing against yourself, and so you're gonna rack up your own bills. Okay, keep this in mind too if you're working with clients, right? So if your business is to run ads for clients and you got multiple clients, like let's say I run with some local business and they have audience overlap, like let's learn some morals and ethics here and not do that, right? Let's notify our clients, and then maybe you're gonna have to choose one over the other. Okay. Number 4, watch your frequency. I always change any ads, kind of rule of thumb, change any ads, any ad sets, turn off campaigns, pause campaigns once they hit a frequency of 4 or more. Now, kind of the rule here too is, you don't have to turn it off for all time. Like, let's say you have a winning campaign. Well, let's turn it off for about 90 days or 120 or maybe 180 and then bring it back on. Let's take a measurement of the time period in which we had it running and then possibly create something new that's very similar to the winning campaign. And so then we can switch these on and off. Otherwise, what will end up happening is you'll start becoming blind, or your audience will start becoming blind to your ads. So if you're showing them the same ad over and over and over and over again, number one, you're going to start being charged more because you're going to start getting negative feedback. And number two, people aren't even going to realize that you're running an ad anymore because they become blind to it. Prime example, you all know that banner ads are running right now as we speak. When's the last time you actually noticed a banner ad on a website? Like, you haven't. Reason being, you're blind to them now. How many years has it been? Like, you hardly ever notice them. In fact, you know when to scroll past it. And most people have gotten to the point where they can tell the difference between an ad and a video, right? So if, like, I'm looking up sports stuff and maybe I'm looking up free agency, NBA free agency for my Portland Trailblazers, right? And I pull up some article and I know there's going to be, AdSense on there. And I know when to scroll past and when it's going to be a video that I want to watch about some news break or sports center thing, and then when it's going to be an ad. So keep that in mind. You don't want them to become blind to your ads. Number 5, watch your audience size. So I wanted to be conservative, and I gave you guys an audience size of 2 million. And this is why I didn't say never, I just said don't, okay? With audience sizes, think of it as your market, okay? So if your market consists of less than 1 million people, then you need to think about scaling and how you're going to do it, and you're going to have to be more tactical and more strategic. If your audience is 30 million, okay, then you can have a lot of fun playing around with that. But when you look at scaling, right, you're trying to maximize profit. You're trying to get more profit out of this market. And so if you have a tiny market and you try to scale, you're just going to blast the ever-living bejesus out of them, right? And that's not what we want to do. So we want to be intelligent about it. So that's why I say don't scale with an audience size less than 2 million. Just kind of keep that as a rule of thumb. If it's like, 1.5 million, okay, go for it. But then also watch what your budget is. If you're going to be targeting 2 million people with an ad budget of $20K per month, okay, depends on what you're doing. That might work for a few months, but you're going to completely demolish this crowd of people, right? This whole market. So let's be intelligent about it. Keep it at a minimum of 2 million. Try to focus on more when you are scaling. Okay, this isn't just like when you're just optimizing and running ads. That's different. I usually try to keep it less than 2 million, but if you're going to scale, try to keep your audience size a little bit larger. So those are 5 rules, just kind of 5, at least 3 of them are never do's, and all the 5s are don'ts, right? But for the most part, you should stick to these with the goal that, at the end of the day, you're trying to scale. These will help save you a lot of pain, a lot of money, a lot of time and resources. Like some of these, I honestly learned the hard way, right? I heard these rules before and I was like, whatever, I'm just going to do my thing. And then it come back and bit me in the butt. And I was like, damn, okay, I realize now. So just kind of like jot these down somewhere, keep a note of it. And then when it's time for you to start scaling, go through these and make sure you just kind of keep them next to your desk or something, where whoever your ads manager is. That way, you just always have them available to you.